I'm back again to talk about, American domestic politics. Because I always got something to say. Yeah, I admit talk off the cuff, and I'm just pretty transparent about what I believe and where I stand on a lot of issues. But yeah, I'm just gonna say it. Like I said, I don't think some things are said enough. But this is a lesson for us to learn as a country. Okay, and we need to acknowledge the rot that exists within our system. We need to acknowledge institutional racism has been a problem for generations. We have not sowed or healed our divides as a country. And if we continue down this road, this is only going to get worse from here. Okay? And that's just reality. And ignoring history or erasing history, pretending like, trying to manipulate and thrive and threaten teachers to teach people the to not teach them history, erase a whole culture of people like it was never a thing because you don't want to hurt the feelings of your white kids is not going to change the reality. Okay? Banning books is not going to change the reality. Erasing histories and generations of people is not going to change the reality. Okay? Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, our country was built on black and brown labor. That's just fact. It does not matter how we feel about it. Okay. So, honest to God, this whole talk about white grievances and culture, this nationalist movement they're having, which is a complete joke and is an encroachment of fascism like Nazi Germany that they're doing on American soil, wanting to control everybody's quality of life and tell them how they can and can't live, who they think is more and less human than them. Going after black and brown people just for the sake of it because they feel like it's a threat to their existence. All right. It doesn't change the reality. All right. And if anything, these people are exposing exactly who they are. Exactly who they are. And I think more of us white folks need to stand up and speak out. We need to shut this BS down. Call this crap for what it is. All right. And make them look in the mirror every freaking day. All right. Put it in their face like a reflection so bright it's overwhelming that they can't look at themselves anymore. Because that's what we have to do. Because obviously, being nice, collaborating, dancing around the issues ain't changing the reality. And trust me, I was one of those people on the left who thought I can collaborate with MAGA. I was speaking a different tune about this current administration 8 years ago when he was in office. I actually underestimated how bad he was going to be. All right. It's far worse than I would have even imagined. All right. I knew I had that pit in my stomach when he got elected in 2024. And I didn't have the same emotional reaction I did when I did in 2016. Like, I cried in 2016 when he won. Yes, I was one of those liberals that cried. You could say whatever you want. And it's not because I liked Hillary Clinton. I did not like Hillary Clinton. I was very disappointed that Hillary Clinton was the candidate. I didn't want to vote for her. But I knew I didn't like what Trump was going to dish out either. So I did vote for her, like a foot soldier. Wasn't my favorite candidate by any measure. But I too also understand elections have consequences. So I didn't vote for her. I voted for the Supreme Court. I voted for 50 years worth of civil rights. I voted for all the progress we saw dismantled by this one man and his minions. I knew that was the reality we were going to face as a country. So, because I vote on issues, I don't just vote on people. All right, I wish I could vote for people I would love to vote for. I don't always get that option. A lot of us don't. But 2020, I did vote for Biden because I knew, especially during the ending of the pandemic and him going after the protesters, I was like, yes, we have to vote for Biden. I didn't want to vote for Biden in 2020. I was backing Bernie all the way. I was kind of disappointed. I was so unenthusiastic about voting for Biden. But I was like, you know what? If this is what our country's turned into during the end of the pandemic and him going after people and all this craziness like he's doing right now, similar, I knew we had to get this chaotic man out of office. So the thing is, he did worse than I imagined the second time around. And I had that feeling in my stomach in 2024 when Trump won, because I knew he was going to be worse than he was his first time around. I just didn't think he'd be this bad. Even I still didn't think he was going to be this bad. But I was more fearful of the future of our country in 2024 than I was in 2016 when he won, because I knew he was going to be worse. And we're witnessing it. So yes, all the Trump critics were correct. They were 112% correct. They've been further vindicated. So that's the reality. And yeah, he's worse than we even imagined. But in 2017, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt a little bit. And at first I thought the anti-Trump people were truly hysterical and propagandizing everything about him, because everything was about his character or how he talked. And I was like, how about you focus on policy and focus on the bigger issues people are angry about and want to see changed in this government? So yeah, because I believe the Democrats didn't stand for anything either, and I was frustrated, and I've been a lifelong Democrat, and I wanted to fight more, go back to like bread and butter issues and fight for labor rights and all these things and deal with real structural problems of this country. But I also acknowledge we can't ignore institutional racism either, and you could just say I evolved a lot in the last 8 years, and I realized we can't apologize for what we believe or abandon our root values. It's not either or, it's both. We can care about working class issues. We can also acknowledge the cultural setbacks people have experienced too. Okay, you can do both. And I refuse to feed in the division on the left. I'm not dictating who's a better candidate for what race. That's not up to me. I'm not deciding that. I'm going to vote my heart and my conscience. So, yeah, I'm not playing the game I played in 2017. I tried to collaborate with MAGA, like a lot of people did. I tried to convince myself that maybe people were just disaffected voters. And the truth is, it's a cult. And there's a lot of people that are going to go down with that cult, and they don't care. They'll support Trump until the very end. They don't give two hoots. It doesn't matter what he does. So when he made the comment, I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, he meant it. He would never lose support. He knows his support. So there are some people that truly like what he's doing, unfortunately. And it's maddening and distressing. But it's just reality. And I'm going to call things out for what they are. I'm going to call out BS. We have to speak up, and we have to stand harder and speak harder about the things we care about in this country. We cannot be complicit and silent under this regime. Okay? And I know you might hurt people in your life or ruffle some feathers of people that voted for him that don't agree with you. But taking a stand and standing up for what you believe is way more important than somebody's ego and feelings. Okay. So that's all I want to say in this video. But yeah. See y'all later. You have a great night. You have a great day. Love y'all. Goodbye.